We are from Superstars Media.
My people, how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're listening to the sound of my voice. Today, I want to call on the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, the head, Barrister Aloy Ejimakor. Barrister, it's a sad one. We've seen what is happening with our leader, Oyendu. We've seen the squabble between IPOB, the DOS, and the family of Nnamdi Kanu. It is sad to say, but our Prime Minister, Obatobi, said it a while ago that Nigeria will not release Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu cannot be released in that system practiced in Nigeria. So we've heard your cry. We've seen what is happening, that they are trying to bring back the same judge that recused herself, Justice Bintanyaku. That's a slap on the face of Oyendu. That's a slap on the face on IPOB. That's a slap on the face on the 70, 80 million Biafrans. Nigeria has tested the power of the people of Biafra. While the DOS, they are busy doing partnership with the politicians. While Kanu went into a partnership, an agreement with the son of Tinubu, the one they call Sheyi Tinubu. While the wife of Nnamdi Kanu went into partnership with Bianca Ojukwu and the rest of them. Today, even the governors, they have let you down. Aloy Ejimakor, I want you to listen to what the media they are saying in Nigeria. Then perhaps I'll come back and have a word with you one-to-one. If you're with me, listen to what the Nigerian media they are saying. Because we told you, Nigeria will never release Nnamdi Kanu. The only way to release him will be through a prisoner exchange. A prisoner for a prisoner. This was said by Obatobi, His Excellency, Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoku. So you guys can waste your time, beat about the bush, dilly-dally, claim you are doing or going to court to fight the case of Nnamdi Kanu. You are wasting your time because they are wasting your time. Nigeria is just there to waste your time and the precious time of Nnamdi Kanu. So please, lend me your ears and listen to what the media are saying about Nnamdi Kanu. Then I'll come back to give you some more words of advice. Let's go there. Listen.
Interesting, Barrister Fred Nzako. Now let's look at the lead counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Aloy Ejimakor. He's actually disclosing that the travels of Nnamdi Kanu is really affecting his family. It's impacting hugely on the family. He said that there are those working against moves by Kanu's family to secure his release and that they're against the IPOB leader. So he wrote on his X, "Let this be clear. The travels of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu impacts most on members of his immediate family who are the frontline stakeholders and thus better placed to act in his best interest. Those working against every move made by his family members are actually working against MNK." This is coming after Kanu's brother Kanunta accused President Bola Tinubu of reneging on his promise to release the IPOB leader. Kanunta claimed that he had a pact for Kanu's release with the president's son in the build-up to the 2023 presidential election. He disclosed that the meeting had the blessing of the president. That statement was made by the son. The son was the one that told Kanunta that the father actually blessed the meeting and it was possibly a verbal arrangement. Obviously, if it was on paper, we would have seen it circulate by now. Now, we know that Nnamdi Kanu has been incarcerated since 2021 when he was rearrested and forcefully repatriated from Kenya to Nigeria. Kanu was made to continue his trial, but the appeal court had discharged and acquitted him of all charges leveled against him by the Nigerian government. Now, despite the appeal court judgment, the Nigerian government has refused to release Kanu. So, Over the weekend, the president met with some stakeholders of the Southeast during his visit to Enugu State. The stakeholders were quiet on the agitation for the release of IPOB leader. Prior to the visit, Ohanaeze Ndigbo had urged Tinubu to write his name in gold by releasing Kanu. So, Barrister Fred Nzako, with this development as it stands, the family is hugely impacted. Very recently, there was supposed to be another appearance in court. Nnamdi Kanu said since Justice Binta Nyako has recused herself, that another judge should be provided. But others are saying if another judge is provided, it means that the case will start all over again and he will continue to remain in detention. But why can't Nnamdi Kanu decide and continue with the case? But Justice Binta was not the one that brought herself back. It was Justice Tosho that gave her that case that she should continue. So where does this place this entire scenario?
The history of Nnamdi Kanu and the House of Resolution dated back to 2015 when he was arrested and kept in the gulag for over 2 years without trial. When he was taken to court, court gave him bail. While enjoying his bail and going to court for his trial, soldiers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria went to his house, almost killed him, and the process killed so many people, and then the Kanu ran away for his dear life. In 2021, he was illegally arrested and brought back to Nigeria in what was described as illegal rendition, which was described as a state kidnap of a citizen in Kenya, unlawfully brought back to Nigeria. That was in 2021. Since 2021, he has been in detention and he has been going to court. The court has refused him bail, and the trial has not progressed reasonably. Between 2021 and then we have now entered 2025. Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention for going to 4 years. Meanwhile, his mother is there at a preliminary stage. What does that tell you? It simply tells you that this state does not want his freedom. And that is why people are asking the government to release him on political grounds, because Nnamdi Kanu is equally the same alleged offenses are all in their various ways. Why would Nnamdi Kanu be one to continue to be in detention? The place of detention is a punitive environment. Nobody's place of detention is a punitive environment. Nobody's room and parlor is in a detention house. Anybody who is in detention is being punished. And under the criminal law system, detention is seen as a sanction and as a punishment. So what the government is doing is to punish Nnamdi Kanu for daring to ask for a referendum or for daring to ask for the freedom of his people. And that is why courts of competent jurisdiction up to the appellate court in Nigeria have asked that he should be released. And not only released, it will be paid compensation in the tune of 500 million for the atrocious act of the government against Nnamdi Kanu under the government of President Muhammadu Buhari. Up to today, the government has not obeyed the court order. The government has not obeyed the orders of court, 9 different courts. 4 in Nigeria, 5 outside Nigeria, including that of Ekpa and that of the Court of Appeal of Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention up to today. It is really obvious that it will be taking a toll on his faith. Don't forget that he has lost his mother, he has lost his father in this fight. Don't forget that he has lost so much, and he has asked anybody to name any aspect of any property standing in his name all around Nigeria. Because he said he was told there was no. And don't forget that he has committed no offense in the eye of the law. And that is why for almost 4 years, government has not been able to pin down any infraction on Nnamdi Kanu. So how do you explain this? It is simply a case of illegal detention. And the Nigerians and the well-meaning people all over the world have continued to ask the government to kindly release Nnamdi Kanu, not only on compassionate grounds, but in respect of the law of Nigeria and in respect for the pronouncement of the court of Nigeria. We cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. We cannot ask the citizens to obey the law when the government does not obey the law. It amounts to rascality of government. It amounts to untwisting of legitimacy, and it amounts to illegitimacy at the highest effort in our environment.
But Barrister Fred Nzako, I recall. Okay.
No matter how anybody looks at it, Nnamdi Kanu is a prisoner of conscience.
All right. Barrister, I remember when we spoke earlier, you said that Justice Toshaw did not have the right to ask Justice Binta Nyako to go back to that case since she had recused herself. Why did you make that phrase?
Justice Binta Nyako has recused herself.
Okay.
Because Nnamdi Kanu, what they said in her court for almost 5 years and had not made any progress, did not see the light of justice in the court of the Binta Nyako. And he honorably asked the court to recuse herself. And the learned job recused herself.
Okay.
It is preposterous and very curious that the Honorable Chief Judge of the Federal High Court will reassign that matter back to the same court that recused herself. Justice can not only be done, but to manifestly be seen to be done. Nnamdi Kanu has expressed this fear that he does not expect justice from the court of Justice Binta Nyako, and he has asked another constitutional. Ordinarily and naturally, I expect, and everywhere meaning people expect, that the chief judge or the administrative judge who assigns matter to reassign this matter to another judge. Even if he has to start the novel, even if he has to start afresh, Nnamdi Kanu is aware of the fact that when another judge takes over, the matter can start afresh. And what is important for him is to get justice. Having said for almost 5 years in the court of Justice Binta Nyako, and he has not seen the light of the day, would you blame him for asking that the matter be reassigned to another court? You wouldn't blame him, and you wouldn't blame the judge for refusing herself and asking to step down. I can only naturally be very curious that the same matter was reassigned to Binta Nyako. To what end? And to achieve what purpose? Is it to what is the intention? Is it the intention of continuing the detention or the intention to administer justice? What is important to anybody in court is justice. And Nnamdi Kanu does not see any glimmer of hope of justice in this particular court that made him to ask that the matter be reassigned. It is now the duty of the government through the judiciary to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu gets justice and not just detention.
But Barrister Fred Nzako, the thing is this, right? What Kanunta said, we've not heard Seyi Tinubu come out to either affirm or dispute it. Now, I mean, one would have expected that Kanunta would have been wise enough to rather have that kind of conversation with the president as a candidate himself rather than the son. The son claimed that the president had assented to their meeting. The president sanctioned it, all right, and approved it. But as it stands now, the president has been mum about this whole ordeal, has been mum about the whole thing. He recently went to the Seyi Tinubu and Kanunta, that is Nnamdi Kanu's brother. I think it was last week or early on in the week, where Kanunta came out to say that there was an agreement between him and Sheyi Tinubu that if the Southeast can support, there'll be no scuttling of the elections in 2023. There'll be peace. That obviously the situation with Nnamdi Kanu will be looked into. There was a promise that he will be released if his father at the time wins, and he said that Sheyi Tinubu's father blessed that meeting. Ever since that statement or that declaration was made to the media, we've not heard Sheyi Tinubu come out either affirm or discredit the supposed meeting that was had with Kanunta Kanu. So the question now is this. The president went to commission some projects in Enugu very recent, but there were no talks about the release of Nnamdi Kanu. At first, we felt maybe there were some conversations that were had secretly that were not privy to the press. But there was no conversation about it. So the question is, why? When an opportunity arose to be in close proximity with the president, why was that conversation not had? If a political resolution indeed is being sought after, why have we not heard anything about it? Why did the legal representation of the federal government of Nigeria come to set a date for the judgment or trial to commence if a political resolution is being talked about? Why did that take place?
I think it is belittling the situation if we drag in the son of Mr. President into the matter Nnamdi Kanu. The son of Mr. President is free to act as a citizen and join his voices to that of other citizens who honestly ask that Nnamdi Kanu be given respect for his fundamental right as a citizen and be released from unlawful detention. If the son of Mr. President does so, there is nothing wrong with it.
No, he didn't say so, sir. He didn't say so. Kanunta is saying that there was a meeting before then, before the election proper.
If the son of Mr. President is acting officially, I do not think that he has such capacity to do officially. He can act privately and then go back and talk to his father. I recall we had a problem sometime. My client had a problem sometime. I think I said that to you in Cameroon that could not be resolved. It was an intractable problem. And we had to engage the son of the president of Bolivia to speak to his father to issue an executive order for that solution to come. If that is the intention of the son of Mr. President in this regard, it will receive my applause and my endorsement. The same way I will endorse the action or the move by any other Nigerian who will ask the government to respect the rights of the citizen Nnamdi Kanu and then release him from detention. But if you now want to tie into politics of the past 2023 or politics of the coming 2027, then it will be extremely very and it will not do much at all.
All right, Barrister Fred Nzako, thank you so much for taking your time to...
Barrister Aloy Ejimakor, you can hear what they are saying. It is clear that all the media will do in Nigeria is talk, the good talk. Nobody will be there to fight for you, even though they know the truth. All they can do is talk in the media. Aloy Ejimakor, we want you to keep your head up. We want you to know that there is no way Nigeria will respect the right of a human being. As long as you are a Biafran, you are condemned to die in Nigeria. Aloy Ejimakor is very, very sad that this is happening. Hence, we are asking you to support us. Make sure Oyendu is aware about what is going on. Let him know the promise given to him by His Excellency, Mazi Simon Ekpa. Aloy Ejimakor, at a time like this, do not expect them to give you justice. We know Nigeria very well. We know how they roll. We know the rulers of Nigeria. We know the owners of the contraption called Nigeria. And we know those that Britain told they were born to rule. Aloy Ejimakor, keep your head up. Aloy Ejimakor, don't make the same mistake that others made before. Now that you have seen the way Nigeria rolls, now that you have seen how the legal team, they roll, now that you have seen the way they've treated you and your client, Oyendu, what else have you got to say? To those out there who said Simon Ekpa is the problem, to those out there who tried to blackmail Simon Ekpa, to those out there who said there was a partnership, an MOU between them and the governors of the so-called Southeast, to those out there who were working with the senators, to those out there who said they have gathered at least 50 members of that zoo senators, to those out there who pretended as if the killing, the mayhem happening in the Southeast started at the time of Simon Ekpa, to those out there who want to pretend that they must blame Simon Ekpa for all the atrocities, Aloy Ejimakor, let Oyendu know that those he called the DOS, they have sold him out. They have let him down. And the only person working for his freedom, the only person working for his liberation, the only person that came with a reasonable way to release Nnamdi Kanu is Obatobi himself, Mazi Ekpa, Simon Njoku. At a time like this, we want you to tell Oyendu to remain strong. At a time like this, it is clear now that the governors of the so-called Southeast, they are not for us. All this while they were screaming, they wanted the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. While they were out there and the man they called Tinubu was in Abuja, they will be screaming from their states that they wanted the release of Nnamdi Kanu. But on that D-Day, that day that we had the one they call Jagaban, the one that entered the partnership with Kanu Kanu, he came to Enugu, the old Enugu state, and all the governors were there, all the stakeholders were there, Ohaneze were there, senators all came to the Southeast, they were there. None of them raised a statement, a question, notion about Nnamdi Kanu. No statement was made to Tinubu about Nnamdi Kanu. Perhaps they know what we know. Perhaps they know that the case of Nnamdi Kanu is bigger than Tinubu. Perhaps they know that Nnamdi Kanu situation is the one that the North, those Fulani cabal in the North, all this while they've been aiming at us since the demise of Ahmadu Bello. They blame the Igbos. Even though Kaduna Nziogu was raised in Kaduna, even though Kaduna Nziogu, he schooled in Kaduna, even though he enrolled in the military in Kaduna, even though his nickname was given to him by his northern colleagues, they somehow put the blame on the Igbos. And since the coup of 1966, they have never forgiven the Igbos. Perhaps they want to hold Nnamdi Kanu as a trophy. Aloy Ejimakor, that's the gospel truth. You and I, we know that. The governors have shown you that Tinubu is not the one in control of Nigeria. Aloy Ejimakor, It is time for you to do what is right. Update Oyendu. Let him know what is happening. Let him know that the people of Biafra, we have moved to a new dimension that he was speaking about. Let him know that everything is in place. However, those he calls the IPOB, those he gave the power of command and control, those he called the DOS, let him know what they did to his most beloved disciple, Mazi Ekpa Simon Njoku. Let him know the ordeal that we are going through. Let him know, let him know, let him know. Let him know the fight we are fighting to make sure Oba Tobie comes back and joins us. Let him know the situation happening in Finland. But tell him that we, the Biafrans, we are the ones to release him, not the governors, not the senators, not even that man in Atorok. It is us, the Biafrans, that will set him free. As I leave, I implore you to keep doing your job. Keep doing what you can do. Even though you have done your best, but to Nigeria, your best is not good enough. Because yes, in the courts they said Nnamdi Kanu has been discharged. But Nigerian government said no. Even though he was discharged, he was not acquitted. Aloy Ejimakor, you've done a good job, but keep it up. Make sure this message gets to Oyendu. Thank you, my brother, and may God bless you.
Say Nnamdi Kanu, oh, make you tell am say, oh, we dey go Biafra, oh, we go meet am for there, oh. If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say, oh, we dey go Biafra, oh, we go meet am for there, oh. If you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say, oh, we dey go Biafra, oh, we go meet am for there, oh. Aloy Ejimakor, Aloy Ejimakor, Aloy Ejimakor, Aloy Ejimakor. When you say Nnamdi Kanu, make you tell am say, oh, we dey go for Biafra, oh, we go meet am for there, oh. When you say Nnamdi Kanu, oh, make you tell am say, oh, we dey go for Biafra, oh, we go meet am for there, oh. Na Simon Ekpa be the man. Na Simon Ekpa dey do am o, Ọba Tóbi, Ọba Tóbi.